Let's face it, all of us would like to make more money. In today's video, I'm going to show you 3 ways to be able to raise your income up and just give yourself a raise. So all 3 of these ideas are based on this theory, and this theory is called theory of mind, TOM. So let's start out with that idea. So let's put TOM in the chat. TOM, theory of mind. The best way to raise your income is to look at who it is you're working with, how you can make their life better. Once they recognize that you're making their life better, they will voluntarily pay you more money, actually give you a higher amount of responsibility, increase your income because you didn't ask for the promotion. You just created a certain amount of utility for them and value for them. And people who are valuable people, people who work with you, people who create the income that helps to pay you, if you do these 3 things, you will really endear yourself to that person or the organization you work for, the people that you work with. You can really endear yourself to them because bosses, people who pay money, I know this because I'm a boss, I pay money out, or boss, quote unquote boss, but I'm the one that's paying people. So when you're paying people, there's certain things that you really wish people would do, but you wouldn't have to tell them to do. So I know how this feels because I'm on this side. So I want to help you in case you're not on this side yet. I want to show you how to move up the food chain and just give yourself a raise. Okay. So the first thing is number one, be reliable. Okay. So everybody put number one. Hi Zena, how you doing, dear? And good morning, Bishop Derek. How you doing? So number one, um, be reliable. Okay. Everybody put it in the chat. Be reliable. You say, well, Brother Ricky, that ain't no revelation. Well, let's talk about it for a second. You say, why is that so important? I want you to understand this. A big part of giving yourself a raise is just showing up. It's just your presence. Are you hearing me? Just the idea that you're actually there. Because a lot of things happen when you come. You say, what do you mean? I'm talking about just being in the presence of where you're supposed to be when you're supposed to be there. A lot of people miss out on things just simply because they just weren't there. They just weren't available. You know, people who make money, we are looking for people who are, we appreciate people, I should say, who are available, meaning that when I put my hand right here and reach for you, you're there. When the person that you're working with, when they put their hand and reach for you, you're there. And they don't have to summons you up and all that because you anticipating what's going on. You check in on your own. Right, hear me? Most people don't believe in this. Most people, the way that they live their life is they live their life thinking about them. And I'm like, but you're not really thinking about you because the last should be first and the first should be last. So if you really want to think about yourself, start thinking from the other person's perspective. All right. That's why theory of mind, TOM, is such an important theory. It's such an important principle to follow. It it helps you make a whole lot of money because you're not thinking about you only. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't be thinking about you, but I am saying that you should not be thinking about you only. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have self-interest. I'm saying that you shouldn't be selfish because your raises and your promotions and stuff, they're going to be extremely slow, monotonous. And it's going to take a long time for you to make more money than you're currently making because you're just not bringing enough value to the table. And don't blame nobody else. Don't be getting mad when somebody else around you is getting promoted and somebody else around you is getting, they just walk in and you say, dang, I've been here for a whole year. This person just walked in the room and all of a sudden now they're getting all the props because it'll make you jealous. But the reason it'll make you jealous is because you can look at their work ethic and say, you know what, they're showing me up. You know what? I never even thought about doing what they're doing. Why? Because reliability means a lot to the person that's paying you. Are you hearing me? It means a lot just showing up. E- even if you are a person who makes your money like we do, like we make our money because we talk to people online and we know people all over the world. So You say, Brother Ricky, how long you been talking to people online? I say, well, I know I've been live every week for about, I don't know, 6 years, 7 years now. I really haven't kept count, but it's been very consistent. Why? Because people appreciate a reliable face. People appreciate a reliable face so much until I have people who send fake people money thinking they me. Why? Because the fake person realized that Brother Ricky is so reliable. He cares so much about people until he'll teach people so consistently until we can just fake like we him, and people will pay money to us just faking like we him because he's a reliable person. So you all be careful about that. And that's why I keep saying it. That's why I keep coming on live to talk about. I don't have a WhatsApp account, and I will never solicit you under any circumstances for nothing. Nobody on my team will, because we don't solicit people. All right. We just show up on the online streets, teach what we teach. And if you like it, then you can pursue how to get involved with us. Like you can come to our IMF class. And if you want to come to our next one, put IMF in the chat. And when you get the link, go to rickthewealthcoach.com and check out what we're doing, because all of our links are on there. I always do a free class every week so people can get to know who we are. Because why? Part of getting a raise and making more money is just being a reliable person. Why? Because it creates an amazing amount of trust with the people you're doing business with, because they can see that you're reliable and that you are actually here for them as much as you here for you. Nobody expects you to do anything and not get anything out of it. Nobody expects that. Nobody in their right mind. Okay, so nobody expects you to fake like you don't have any self-interest. Are you listening to me? Self-interest is very important. And to act like you don't have it is phony. Who in their right mind don't have no self-interest? The Bible say love your neighbor the way you love yourself. Well, you got to love yourself and love your neighbor. So you got to have some self-interest. So anybody who says that you don't have any self-interest, they're selfish. And what? And they're not realistic. Okay. But what I am saying is that if you want to get a raise, if you want to make more money, if you want more money to come to you, then just become more reliable. Are you listening to me? It's like Dr. Benjamin Carson. Dr. Benjamin Carson is in school at Yale University. And Dr. Carson is extremely poor. I mean, this is before he became the world famous Dr. Carson. You know who Benjamin Carson is. He led the world in hemispherectomies. That's where a person come in and the right side of their brain needed to be switched to the left side, and they'd be shaking and convulsing uncontrollably. And this man's hands are so gifted until he can take the mush in your brain, the membrane in your brain. He can physically take it out and switch places with it. And people walk in shaking unconvulsively and doing that, and walk out saying, well, this is the day. This is the day that the Lord has made. I mean, walk out praising God. This man, Dr. Benjamin Carson, is a bad man, and he's got two books. One is called Gifted Hands, another one is called Gifted Hands 2. I've read both of them. But he was a very poor man growing up. He didn't have no money. His mother, didn't have any money. He got a scholarship to Yale because he was a genius, but he was still broke. So when he gets to Yale, he's so broke he ain't got no money. One day he found $10 on the ground and he was able to eat some lunch. And he was really happy about that. But he's a very reliable person. You say, how do I know that? Because they had a test in the auditorium with a whole bunch of students. And most of the students couldn't answer the questions to the test. And it was just a really, really hard test. So everybody was getting up and they were leaving, but not Dr. Carson. Why? Because Dr. Carson is very reliable. Are you hearing me? He really shows up. When I mean reliable, I don't mean that you show up and your mind is here and your mind is there. I mean that you show up, add some, ADSUM. Everybody put it in the chat. Add some, ADSUM. All right. This word is in Black's Law Dictionary, the 11th edition. Everybody put add some, ADSUM. Add some. You say, what does it mean, Brother Ricky? It means that I am here and I am present. So I am only here and I'm only present here. In other words, I'm reliable. See, it's just because your body shows up don't mean you're reliable. Because when you're talking to people, listen to me, I'm talking to you all that want to move up the food chain, okay? And you want to give yourself a raise. When you're talking to people and you come in a room and we're having a conversation, and we can tell that your body is here, but your mind is like, your body's here with me, but your mind is on the other side of time. We can tell that your body is here, but you're not really you're not really like present. Okay. And so you're costing yourself a lot of money. Why? Because people really pay attention to people who really pay attention. Did y'all get what I said? I'm talking about the people you work with, the people who can pay you more money, the people who can set you up so you can have a better situation with your life, the people who can introduce you to people, the people who can even help you be able to even quit what you're doing and move on and do something better. Because people who you really help, they don't even mind saying, you know what, your wings are expanding and it's time for you to move up. It's time for you to even move up out of this company that we're in. Why? Because you've been such a help. You've been so reliable until I'm just going to hook you up. I'm going to introduce you to some people and stuff. You should be doing your own thing. I mean, this is the reality of what happens to people when you get out of your shoes and you use theory of mind. I want to be a reliable person. I want to show up because when you show up, it gives the person assurance and comfort. Are you hearing me? We'll go to number two in a second. But the first thing is just be reliable, just show up. And I mean, when you show up, actually be there. So here's Benjamin Carson. He is such a reliable person. It's just his personality. This is just his spirit. This is just his temperament, his attitude, his disposition is that I'm a reliable person. I hang in there. So what does he do? Everybody leaves from out of the room taking his test except him and one more person. And finally, the person comes over who administered the test and they say, congratulations to your son. And he's like, congratulations for what? Because I know I don't think I got one of these questions right. So they said, well, there weren't any answers to the questions. All the questions were made up. There are no answers to the questions. But you stayed here because you're so reliable. And all we wanted to find out was who would be reliable enough to stick it out. So he said, here's $10 for you, and we're gonna put your picture in the school newspaper. So he was able to eat that week from reliability. All right. Did you hear what I said? Reliability pays. Everybody put RP in the chat. Okay. RP, everybody. RP. Say, what are you talking about, Brother Rick? Reliability pays. Are you hearing me? People who have money and you working with them, when you show up, and I mean, and you there actually paying attention to what's going on, oh, the people love it. You don't understand. People don't always say it to you. And you don't need nobody to always be complimenting you. Okay. You don't need nobody to always be telling you, you're doing a great job. We really appreciate you. Don't do it for those reasons. That's good. And people should acknowledge one another. That's good. But don't do it for those reasons. Just do it for the fact that what being reliable is just right. And what? And it always pays. Are you listening to me? Because people are what? Observing the fact that, man, you show up. Listen, in businesses, one person may be more talented than the next person, but that's not how we, as business owners, that's not how we judge who we do business with based on who's the most talented person. We judge who we're going to do some business with based on who's the most reliable person. In other words, we don't need the stress and the drama of dealing with people who show up and then don't show up and then don't show up. Got an excuse why they're not here. All emotionally what? Scarred and messed up. Their personal life is such that they really believe that because they're talented, that they can just pop in and pop out when they get ready, and then leave you up under all that stress. And that's why that type of person, we're not interested in that person. We're interested in a person that has enough ability to get the job done, but we know that when we reach for them, they're there. You just think about Jesus Christ. Jesus, he lived his life up under a tremendous amount of stress. All right. Why? Because for 3 years he had warrants. Okay. He's the leader of the organization. All right. And he's a mighty good leader. Yes, he is. All right. And he's such a good leader until he was a sacrificial lamb. And he's still a good leader, even leading from heaven, even though he left his kingdom here. So he had his boys with him though. And he kept Peter, James, and John around him because he was like, these guys are reliable. Okay. He knew they was going to run, when he got crucified. He understood that because everybody's going to take off. So he understood that. But while he was kicking it and while he was teaching and while he was helping people and feeding people and healing people, that brother, he needed some people he could reach for. And what? And those people would be there. He knew that. He knew how reliable they were, so reliable until It helped him to mentally be able to get over the idea of Judas being around him every day, knowing that Judas was a snitch and knowing that Judas was a traitor and knowing that Judas what hated his guts and knowing that Judas what was very Judas hated him so much he would turn him over to get killed and murdered. It's amazing when you're around somebody who's with you every day and would like to see you dead. Are you hearing me? That's tough when somebody's with you every day and they were so envious of you. And see, this is what I'm talking about. This is why reliability is so important. And it's so important that you be there in body and mind. Because what happens is when you hang out around people and you're not really reliable, you start you start envying the people who are. And you start getting upset about the people around you who getting props that you think you deserve. That's why Judas had such a bad attitude. That's why Judas got jealous when somebody else would show some affection to Jesus because his body was there, but he wasn't a reliable person. How do we know? Because Mary came and took all of that expensive perfume and she poured it on Jesus' feet and poured it anointed Jesus rather. And it came down on his feet. She wiped it with her hair because she was so happy because Jesus saved her from 7 different demons. And she just really, really, really appreciated Jesus. She was madly in love with Jesus Christ. And she didn't care what nobody thought. She spent the best she had, a year's worth of wages and all that sort of thing. So Judas got upset when he saw that because Judas is not a reliable person. He wasn't a reliable person. He was around, but he wasn't reliable. Okay. His body was there, but his mind was on the other side of town. How do we know? Because he said, look, he said, man, you see how much money she just wasted with that oil? He said, man, that could have been used. That's like a year's worth of wages. We could have used that to feed the poor. But the Bible says that he was stuffing. That was gain. He didn't care nothing about no poor people. He just had the bag where the money was in it because they had plenty of money in that bag because Jesus had plenty of money. So he just was upset about the fact that they had that because he was always going in the bag, dipping in the bag and stealing the offering anyway. He's an offering thief. All right. You know anybody else like that? Put OT in a chat. If you know some people who they hanging out around you and they feel so entitled, you got to be a serious thief for somebody to pass the offering plate around and you reach in the offering plate and instead of putting something in it, you snatch something out the offering. That's how scandalous scandalous. That's how scandalous Judas is. But his real problem is that he's just not reliable. And it's very dangerous to be in a circle of people who are doing amazing things. And you're not a reliable person because it's going to cause envy, it's going to cause strife, and it's going to ruin your ability to get a raise. Are you listening to me? Judas is the only one out of the 12 disciples, those 12 disciples, who did not get a raise. Hey, listen to me. What are you talking about? Judas was never raised up. Judas is not a part of the resurrection. Are you hearing me? He never got a raise. Judas never received the Holy Ghost. Why? Because Jesus sent the Holy Ghost back when he died in the book of Acts. And you hear me? And all the disciples together. And but Judas is dead because he went and hung himself. Why? Because he wasn't a reliable person. His body was there, but his mind wasn't there. He wasn't thinking from Jesus's perspective. He was thinking from Judas's perspective. And he was like, man, what's in this for me? What's in this for me? What's in this for me? He was not operating under theory of mind, thinking from the perspective of Jesus. And you know what? What is he going through? And how can I what? Lighten his load. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? So number one, if you want to raise, be reliable. But when I say reliable, I don't just mean just show up with your body. I mean show up with your body and show up with your mind, which leads me to number two. Number two, if you want to raise, I highly recommend that you help reduce stress. You say, what do you mean? If you want to raise, help reduce the stress of the people that pay you. You say, what do you mean? Listen, if you're an employee and you work with somebody, help reduce the stress of the people that pay you your check. You say, what are you talking about? That means that when you come into the room to talk, you come in with solutions and not with questions, not with problems, but with solutions to the problems when you come in and you all start meeting. And then with about at least 3 answers that you already have formed so that your answers can be discussed, not your questions. All right. Y'all got that? Answers, not questions. Answers, not questions. ANQ. All right, everybody put it in the chat. ANQ. You say, Brother Ricky, but how am I going to, you know, how am I going to ever know how to do something if I don't come in asking a lot of questions? Shouldn't I be inquisitive? Okay, I'm talking about the next level. I'm talking about getting a raise. Anybody can come in and ask questions. In fact, most people come in and ask questions, and then, and for the sake of just wasting a whole lot of time with the meeting, what I'm saying is that there are a lot of answers that you could have came up with based on your reliability and based on your theory of mind. In other words, you are studying the business that you're in. You're studying the company that you work with. You are studying the people that you work around. You are studying the people that pay you. And you're like, if I was him or if I was her, then this would make a whole lot of sense to do to move the bottom line of what we're all doing. So when I come to this next meeting, I'm not going to come to the meeting asking a whole lot of questions that I could have already went out and research, because now I'm going to be wasting time in a meeting and I'm going to be adding stress to the person who got to pay all of us. Are you hearing me? And I don't want to add stress to this brother. I don't want to add stress to this sister. I want to increase this person's comfort level. I want to increase this person. I want to reduce their blood pressure. And I want to come in and have some answers for them that they don't even understand. In other words, I want to come in and I want to bring discovery. Okay. So everybody put BD in the chat. Let's go. BD. Come on. Are y'all listening today? Because I don't see y'all putting a lot of stuff in here. Are we being lazy today? Are y'all participating? Okay. Are you participating? All right. BD. All right. Bring discovery with you. I'm showing you how to get a raise. All right. The second way that you get a raise is that you reduce the stress of the person that you work with or the people that you work with. Stop thinking about you and think about the whole situation when you walk in. All right. Uh, this is how you can help your own emotional stability. You say, why is that? When you reduce the stress of people around you, you reduce your own stress. You say, how do you know that, Brother Ricky? I spend my whole life, my whole life's work is coming up with answers, solutions to people problems. So, and I help a lot of people get their problems solved. Why? Because I'm concerned about your problems. So I study your problems. Okay. And then I figure out answers. I don't come asking you questions about your problem. I come and give you the answer to the questions about your problem that you hadn't even thought to ask yourself. Why? Because when you have this attitude of reducing the stress of the next person around you, God gives you amazing ideas. Are you hearing me? Amazing ideas. Are you listening to me? The AI that we work with around here is not all these robots and stuff. I know that they're good. And I know they do. I know they do some good. Excuse me. I understand that. But what I'm saying is that the AI that's going to really give you a raise is amazing ideas. Everybody put AI in the chat. Okay. Say, Brother Ricky, I need to make more money, man. My money's funny and my change is strange. I'm like, your money is just a reflection of your ideas. That's all it is. Why? Because when you start reducing somebody's stress, they pay you more money. Why? Because now they got more money to pay you. Are you listening to me? Are you hearing what I'm saying? Are you digging what I'm saying? When you come into the rooms of the people that you're working with, naturally they'll pay you more money. Why? Because you help create the money that they're paying you. Why? Because more money reduces stress. You know, somebody was asking me the other day, they said, Brother Ricky, does being a millionaire, more money, more problems? I'm like, no. My blood pressure is 118 over 77. They just took it 2 days ago. But I already knew what it was before she took it. She said, your blood pressure is 118 over 77. I said, I know. Why is that? Because I don't live a stressed out life. Are you listening to me? Why? Because I reduce my own stress by helping reduce other people's stress. Because the best way for you to get what you want in life is to just make sure that you help somebody else get it. And as simple as that is, it's not practiced much by people. That's why people are so stressed out, because they come into meetings trying to see what they can get out of the meeting. I'm like, no, you should come to the meeting seeing what you can contribute to the meeting. And because you already knew a meeting was going to take place, nobody should be having to prod you for information, because we all grown men and women. And you should care enough about who you work with and the people that you work around and the causes that you work for. It should mean so much to you until when you come what? With six in a holster, baby. What? Ready to do what? Shoot some idea bullets into the atmosphere and bring your ideas and your answers that you have. All right. Now you say, Brother Ricky, I tried that before, you know, and they didn't accept my ideas. And, it really made me angry. See, that's not theory of mind. Because theory of mind is not that you're going to force some ideas on somebody. You're not going to get a raise like that. Why? Because ain't no humility in that. Are you hearing me? That's narcissism. It doesn't mean somebody's going to accept your ideas. It doesn't mean somebody's going to accept your answers. It doesn't mean that your answer has to be the answer that's going to be implemented and everybody's going to move on it. That's not the point of bringing answers to the table. That's not the point. The point is to reduce stress. It's not to come in and try to gangster nobody and accepting your ideas. Are you listening to what I'm saying? So a lot of people will cancel bringing ideas to the table because in their head, they're like, my ideas are getting shot down. But I'm like, that's because you're a narcissist. Okay, that's because you don't understand, you don't have humility. All right. Pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. But before honor is humility. See, is now a man who is diligent in his business, he should stand before kings. He should not stand before mean men. Why? Because people who are diligent in their business, they reduce the stress of the person that they're working with. And we pay a lot of money to stress reducers. Oh, yes, we do. Why? Because now I don't have to be bothered with that. I didn't even have to come up with that. It's nothing that impresses or increases the energy of somebody that you work with that's paying you. It's nothing that increases their energy more than for you to bring in a brand new, fresh answer to a problem that they didn't even know the problem existed. Are you listening to me? Are you hearing me? Theory of mind is let me create an answer to a problem that you, my brother and my sister, you don't even know exist. Are you hearing me? And when what? And when you got an answer to that problem, then you absolutely positively gonna get paid more money. Why? Because the person is like, you just brought an answer to a problem I didn't even know existed. And because you brought an answer to a problem I didn't even know existed, I'm going to pay you for that. And I'm going to pay you well. Why? Because Lord have mercy, maybe you got some more of those. All right. Are you hearing me? Just think about Mordecai in the Bible. All right. Let me give y'all an example of what I'm talking about. Mordecai in the Bible, in the book of Esther. Okay. If you haven't read the story of Esther, it's a beautiful love story. And it's a beautiful story of redemption and what can take place when you just in place like you're supposed to be. All right. And so Mordecai, excuse me, is Esther's cousin. And one day he finds out about a plot against the king, Ahasuerus, about some cats, this Chamberlain and some other cats that that was going to kill him. All right. They had a plot to kill a king. And Mordecai found out about it and he reported these cats to the authorities and foiled their plans to kill a king. But when he did it, he didn't do it for no notoriety. He just did it because it was right to save the king's life. So he didn't roll up and say, hey, man, I'm the one that saved your life. You need to holler at me. Can I get a little something, something you did? Can I get a raise around here? He didn't do it for the recognition. He just did it because it was right. So what happened? God woke the king up one night. Well, he made it where the king couldn't sleep. And he told the king in the middle of his dream, and God told him, he said, hey, man, go open up the book of the Chronicles of the Kings. So he told somebody, bring me that book. So he started reading. It had been recorded what Mordecai had done. What? That Mordecai had came up with some answers to a problem that the king didn't even know existed. Oh, yeah. The fact that he was about to get executed, that's a problem. The fact that he was about to get what? Murdered, that's a problem. The fact that there was some mutiny on the bounty, that's a problem. The fact that he had some jealous marks around him who was trying to give him the what for, that's a problem. The fact that his life was in peril, that's a problem. But he didn't even know it was a plot to kill him. So what? He didn't even know about the problem, let alone know the answer to the problem. All right. So Mordecai knew about a problem that he didn't even know existed. So Mordecai went and he took care of that. And then now the king is finding out. So the king is like, man, what should we do for the man whom the king delighteth in? So he called his boy Haman in. Haman had planned on killing Mordecai and hanging him on some gallows. So when the king told him, I want to bless the man that I delight in, he thought he was talking about him. So he's like, I would, He said, I would pay that brother. I would give that brother a raise. He said, I would raise him up so much until I would make him like second in the kingdom. I would let everybody know that he's the man. I would even have a parade and let all the honeys come out and do some handstands and some backward flips. You did, and recognize this brother. I would give him nationwide recognition in all 127 provinces here. I would let everybody know that he is the man. He is the man. I would give him a substantial raise. I would just straight up blow him up. That's what I would do, King. So the king was like, word up. He said, go get Mordecai and let's have a party. All right. Now, you know, Haman wasn't expecting that. Why? Because Mordecai did what? He answered a problem that the king didn't even know was a problem. So the king did what? He gave him a raise, a substantial raise. And I want to let you know that when you reduce the stress of people who are in authority, who have power, who have money, who have income, who have influence, and you help the person, then that person is inclined to give you what? A substantial raise, put you in a position that's much higher than the position that you were in. My suggestion to you is that you stop bringing stress to the table and that you help reduce stress by investigating things, by research and development, and by finding out what is it that I can help this person with that this person ain't even aware of. Let me bring it to the table every single time that we have a business meeting, every time we have a team meeting. Let me be a team player. Let me be what? A stress reducer. And watch what'll happen. Your money will go up and your stress will go down. I'm 64 years old and don't take no medicine. Are you listening to me? I got sinus problems. You know, my bladder fill up a little bit too much. You know, it is what it is. But, you know, I just got through talking to one of my friends just a few seconds ago. And bless her heart, you know, a friend I love real dearly. And I just called out the blue guy, just told me to call her and check on her. I didn't know that she was getting infusions today. You know, I didn't know that she was at the hospital getting infusions today. My daughter has to go get infusions on a regular basis to fight all of these symptoms from lupus and all of that. Are you hearing me? So I'm always trying to find out a way to reduce the stress in my daughter's life, anybody's life around me. I'm always trying to figure out an answer, maybe that they weren't even aware of. That's why I introduced my daughter to Dr. Glenda, who took her, you know, helped her to get off all her steroids, which had up to 200 something pounds. And all of this medicine, they just pumping into all the poison, they was just pumping into her blood and all of that. And it wasn't because I wanted nothing from my daughter other than her just to stay alive. Because what? I don't want to outlive my daughter. Are you hearing me? And she been fighting and fighting and fighting for years just to maintain her health. And if anything I can do as a father, I want to do it to help what? Reduce her stress. And listen, the raise that I get is the peace that I get from knowing that my daughter's alive. A raise ain't always in money. Sometimes a raise is just in peace. Sometimes a raise is just, I shouldn't say just, but sometimes a raise is your amazingly good health. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? Are you listening to me? Everybody put GHR, a good health raise. Okay? I don't know about you, but what in the world are we going to do without no good health? All right? So I'm trying to teach you this. Everybody put GHR in the chat. Give yourself a good health raise. Raise up the quality of your health by helping to raise up the quality of somebody's health around you that you're working with and that you're what? And that's a colleague of yours, somebody that you are having meetings with, that you're in business with, somebody that you are rubbing shoulders with, somebody that you are communicating with. Are you hearing me? Think ahead of the game. Think about what they probably not thinking about. Are you listening to me? I said, think about what they probably not thinking about. Let me run it by you one more time. Think about what they are probably not thinking about. In other words, theory of mind. Get over there and say, how can I help this person? How can I help reduce their stress? People love you when you help reduce stress. You think about Joseph and Pharaoh. Okay, excuse me. Excuse me. You think about Joseph and Pharaoh. Pharaoh is up under a lot of stress. I mean, a lot of stress. I mean, he having straight nightmares. He called everybody in Egypt. and say, can somebody come and help reduce the stress? All right. Everybody. And they like, yeah, man. But can't none of them help them. Why? Because what? They don't have the gift that Joseph has of stress reduction. Because when you can tell somebody what's going to take place in the future, it ain't nothing that can reduce your stress like knowing what's going to happen before it happens. All right, listen to me. So Joseph comes up and he tells Pharaoh about his dreams. He says it's going to be 7 years of famine, Pharaoh. And it's going to be 7 years of plenty first, and then 7 years of famine. He said, but don't stress out about it. Don't stress out. Everybody put DS in the chat. Come on. I want you to get used to this, okay? Everybody put DS in the chat. All right. Don't stress. I want you all to help the people around you. Come on, DS. Because some of you all right now are what? Are stressed about things that's going on with you. But you can reduce your stress by reducing somebody else's. Come on, some of y'all blood pressure is too high right now. Are you hearing me? Some of y'all heartbeat, is racing too much. Some of you all, some of that anxiety that you're dealing with right now, you can reduce that. Okay. And the way that you can reduce that is by reducing somebody else's. Why? Because you're going to reap what you sow. And you're going to make a lot more money too. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? You're going to have a lot better health and you're going to have a lot larger wealth. They both go together. Are you listening to me? God ain't just the God of good health. He's also the God of good wealth. He's the God of both of them. Are you hearing me? And he rewards you with both of them when you do this second thing that I'm teaching you right now. Okay? So Joseph goes to Pharaoh. Pharaoh is up under an amazing amount of stress. I mean, an amazing amount of stress. He can't eat. He can't sleep. He ain't got no appetite. He on involuntary fast. Why? Because it's hard to eat and sleep and stuff when something is in your belly, in your gut, and something has to be done, but you don't know what to do. Come on, y'all know how that feels. It's a helpless feeling when you know something needs to be done, but you don't know what to do. And you don't even know the breadth of the problem. I mean, can't nobody even break the problem down, let alone the answer. Are you hearing me? So Joseph comes, and the first thing that he does is he breaks down the problem. Okay? He tells Pharaoh it's going to be 7 years of famine, and it's going to be 7 years of plenty. So he breaks down the problem. All right? So if you want to get more money, if you want to earn more money, then you're going to have to what? You're going to have to up your bid. What do you mean bid? Break it down. Okay? Everybody put BID in the chat. Okay? You say, Brother Ricky, I want to earn more money. Okay. All right. Well, get your bid in. Get your bid in for a bigger paycheck. You say, how do I get my bid in? Break it down. Why? If you do some research about something people don't know nothing about, and you come in and you break it down, oh, you about to get a raise. You ain't got to worry about that. Hey, listen to me. And you won't even have to ask for it. Are you hearing what I'm talking about? Oh, no, you won't when you learn how to break it down. Come on. You're going to learn how to break it down, Bishop. All right. Renal, you're going to learn how to break it down. Zena, you're going to learn how to break it down. Kane, are you going to learn how to break it down? We got anybody else that's going to break it down? I said, we got anybody else that's going to break it down? Albert, you're going to break it down? Come on. Y'all heard that cut. It said, break it down. I don't want nobody else to hear the sound. What? Break it down. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Break it down like a fraction. You hear me? You hear me, Waxstone? Break it down. Okay, so here Joseph comes in and he breaks down what's going on with Pharaoh. And as he breaks down the problem, he breaks down the stress. Because now Pharaoh can see what the problem is, can clearly see what the problem is. But then Joseph doesn't just leave him with an analysis of the problem. He also gives him a solution. He says, get somebody who knows how to stack it up and just stack it up for 7 years. He said, get somebody who knows accounting and knows how to balance the books. He said, get somebody who understands accrual accounting. All right. Get somebody who understands management. Get somebody who understands budgeting. Get somebody who has that spirit of excellence inside of them, who won't be tripping when all of this money is coming in. They'll realize that winter is coming, and we're gonna put some of this to the side so that we can be ready when winter comes. He said, get somebody like that, Pharaoh. All right. And Pharaoh said, man, ain't nowhere in the world I would deal with somebody else other than you, Joseph. He said, why? Because you were smart enough to break it down. Why? He said, so I'm gonna give you a raise, a substantial raise. I'm gonna give you a raise from working for free, in the Egyptian penitentiary that you just came from. So your raise is going to be what? You're going to be the governor of Egypt. Now, is that a raise? That's a raise. Everybody put TAR in the chat. All right. That's a raise. Come on. Everybody put TAR in the chat. Are you listening to me? Come on, everybody. TAR. That's a raise. That's a significant raise to go from the penitentiary to the palace. Come on, y'all know that's a raise. Are you listening to me? But Joseph didn't go in there, excuse me, asking the man for no money. Okay, I'm telling y'all how to get a raise. Okay. I said, Joseph didn't go in asking the man for any money. He just went in and he came in and he broke it down. Once he broke it down, then the raise was automatic. Now, y'all listen to me. I'm teaching y'all 3 ways today on how to get a raise, how to earn more money. Okay. And you get an automatic raise when you can break down a problem that a person has that they didn't even know they had. I gave you 2 examples, King Ahasuerus and the Pharaoh of Egypt. And he said, Joseph, I'm taking this chain off of me. I'm putting this change on you. I'm going to give you this cougaran. Are you listening to me? I'm transferring this wealth to you. And now you're going to be the wealthiest person in Egypt. You're going to be wealthier than everybody here other than me. And basically, you're going to be as wealthy as I am because you got access to everything I got. All right. So if you want access, don't just tell a person what their problems are. Have the answer to the problem. Okay. And study the answers. And then you'll be okay. And you'll be able to get a raise. All right. And here's the last thing. All right. If this is helping you, I'll put a 1 in the chat. I said, if this is helping you, put a 1 in the chat. Okay. I said, put a 1 in the chat if this is helping you. If you can leave from off of here, just from off of this training today, if you can leave from off of here, if you have a clearer mind right now as to how you're going to earn more money, just put a 1 in the chat. And just so I can see if I'm helping anybody. All right. Okay. I'm glad you're being able to get some help, Tamil. All right. All right. I'm glad you're being able to get some help. Millionaire Barbara, I'm glad you're able to get some help. All right. I'm glad. I'm happy for you. Okay. Here's the last thing. All right. Number 3. Number 1, be reliable. Show up. Number 2, reduce stress. Oh, people will pay you so much more money than you're currently getting. And then finally, number 3, be relentless. You say, what do you mean, Brother Ricky? Be a relentless pursuer of problem solving. See, the problem with people is that they'll do something once or they'll do it twice. And then they say, okay, now pay me. But that might not have been noticed. Okay, let me run it by you again. You say, I did something, man. I don't get it. I deserve a raise. Okay. I just set it out over here. I made it rain like a hurricane. I just gave them a great idea and they implemented the idea, and they give me nothing for it. I don't appreciate that. So you know what? I quit. I'm not talking about your idea got rejected. I'm talking about somebody took your idea and made some money off of it. And you feel like, oh man, y'all just gonna make some money off my idea and ain't nobody gonna recognize me. Okay, be relentless. Why is that? Because first of all, it's really your obligation to help the company make more money anyway. See, if y'all don't get rid of these selfish behaviors, this holding out, this hoarding of information, this outright abominable laziness, well, you feel like, look, you're not going to be using me. You're not going to be getting rich off of me. You're not going to be getting rich off of my ideas. No, you're not. Okay. Why? Because I deserve to get paid for my ideas. Well, you don't understand. That's not a servant's heart. All right. The Bible says the Lord loves a cheerful giver. You signed up to work wherever you work. You signed up to be in business with whoever you're in business with. You signed up to be partners with whoever you partners with. You signed up to be colleagues with whoever you colleagues with. You have your name, all right, on a dotted line. So that means your name is at stake. Your reputation is at stake. And your biggest reputation is your reputation in heaven, in this kingdom, more than it is on earth. You say, what are you talking about, Brother Ricky? See, the kingdom of heaven, you have a reputation above and below. And God looks at what you do for people and how you help people. Are you listening to me? And the results that you get is always more money eventually. Why? Because even if the people that you helping don't recognize who you are, your ability to be able to answer those problems and stuff is going to help introduce you to other people who will be willing to pay you. So don't you ever hold out on creativity. Are you listening to me? I, I I keep telling y'all about me. You say, Brother Ricky, why do you make so much money? Why do you make more money like every month than you made like the last month? I mean, what's going on? How is it 1 million after another? How you get to $12 million from nothing, from not having nothing? Relentlessness. What? Relentless problem solving. Are you hearing me? Making sure the people around me are better off. And what? Helping them to solve problems they didn't even know was a problem. Are you hearing me? And not being worried about the immediate pay. All right? It's not the immediate pay that I'm worried about. Matter of fact, I ain't worried about nothing. Why? Because I know what? I know that money has to follow what? When you cast your bread upon the waters or your ideas to people, the Bible said, surely it shall return to you after many days. And I mean surely. Okay? Everybody put surely in the chat. Okay? All right? Everybody put surely in the chat. Okay? You don't have to worry about your money coming back. You don't have to worry about putting ideas out and money coming back. You don't have to worry about that. Why? That's a principle. That's a Bible principle that cannot be. It's no way that that doesn't work. It's impossible. Why? Because Solomon said, "Cast your bread upon the water." All right, and your bread is what? Your relentless ideas. Excuse me. Your relentless ideas. And you say, well, Brother Ricky, people using my ideas and they're not paying me. Don't worry about that. I said, don't worry about that. All right. You worried about the wrong thing. Okay. Don't cut off your blessings. Don't cut off your money. Are you hearing me? Don't cut off your income. Don't play around with God's principles. God said what? He said what? What you do in the dark, I'm going to reward you openly. And you signed up to work with who you work with. So if you holding out on ideas because you want to get paid for every single idea you get, you just outright dumb. Okay? You have a devil on you. That's a dumb devil that's blocking your money. That's a spirit. That's witchcraft. That's warlockism. That's mean. That's hurtful to you. That's pride. That's narcissism. Are you hearing what I'm saying? That you would hold out on your ideas because every time you get an idea and somebody go make some money off of it, you feel like, well, where's mine at? Where's my cut and all that? When you gonna contribute just for the sake of contributing to show your appreciation? All right. Everybody put IA in the chat, not AI. IA. Ideal appreciation. Okay. All right. Ideal appreciation. The reward that you're gonna get sometimes it's money, but that's not the most important part. The most important part is the fact that you got some more ideas. That's the most important part. Because the only reason you ain't got no getting a raise right now is because you ain't bringing nothing to the table worth paying you for. Are you listening to me? That's why you're not getting a raise. All right. But when you are relentless with your ideas and relentlessly release your ideas into the marketplace, are you hearing me? Then God would, He does something to your brain that I can't even explain. Are you listening to me? Revelation, revelation upon revelation upon revelation. And revelations can be cashed in for money all the time. Are you hearing me? Nobody turns down a person with revelations. Nobody is reluctant to pay a person with revelations. People are reluctant to let you go. Are you hearing me? People are reluctant to let you get away. People will stalk you to pay you when you have revelations. I ain't talking about what I heard. I'm talking about how we live. Are you listening to me? But it's because we don't hold back. Just like I'm teaching you right now. You say, Brother Ricky, I can go make $1 million today. And you're teaching me this stuff and you ain't even charging me no money. No, because everything that you do is not supposed to be about money. Are you hearing me? Are you listening to me? Why? Because I'm getting revelations in the middle of teaching you. So don't worry about, I'm not worried. Don't worry about me. What? I have some meeting with some folks that need to pay me $1 million a piece just to learn what it is that I'm teaching you all so they can run their companies at a much higher level. But I'm learning while I'm teaching you. Why? Because the revelations come in the middle of the revelations. Are you listening to me? Why? Because of the the loving and the kindness to love somebody enough to try to help them with their problems without always wanting some money. Are you listening to me? Are you hearing me? Sometimes I have class that's supposed to be an hour, they end up being 4 hours and all that. Why? Because I don't know how much time I got left on earth. So I want to pour into people as much as I can. I want to leave my contribution. I don't want to leave it on the playing field. Are you listening to me? And I want to encourage you to do the same thing. Theory of mind. Go back to that from the beginning, and then it'll help you to be relentless because you won't keep cutting off your own money. You ain't doing nothing but cutting your own income off. You ain't doing nothing but cutting your financial throat by being selfish and by holding out on your ideas with people because you want the money right then and there, that second. And if they don't, if you can't get it right then and there, you feel cheated. You feel like somebody's getting you. So you're going to hold out. And you're like, I'm not going to give you everything I can because you're taking advantage of me. You're not going to take advantage of me like that. I'm holding on to my good ideas. I'm going to do just enough work around here to keep from getting fired because you ain't paying me, but just enough for me to keep from quitting. I'm saying that's not a good relationship to have with the people that you work with. And I'm telling you that that problem is not with the people you work with. That problem is with you. Why? You should be singing what Bill Withers sang. My friends, said I'm gonna spread the news. Said if it feels this good being used, oh, you just keep on using me, Lord, till you use me up. Well, till you use me up. Well, till you using me up. Yeah. Well, till you using me up. So be encouraged today as you go out and practice this teaching. And I want to just speak a word over your life that you are about to get an amazing raise. That's if you take heed to the three things that I just got through encouraging you to do. I'm not guessing. This is absolutely positively guaranteed. Yeah, because the word of God is steadfast and true and cannot be refuted. It was working way before you were born and way before I were born. If you will just adapt this attitude, theory of mind, start thinking from the other side of the tracks and do what? Become more reliable, help reduce people's stress, and be a relentless problem solver. God will bless you, and people will pay you more money than you personally need. You have Brother Ricky's problem. You wake up every day figuring out who you're going to get some money to. That's the only problem I got now. And I just want to praise God for his principles because they work 1,000% of the time. I do have one announcement for you all before we go, and that's if you're on Facebook or if you're on Instagram, you can get this link real quick. And if you're not on here, it's not going to go to you. So I'm sorry. But if you're on Facebook or if you're on Instagram, well, you can still comment if you're on YouTube too. My book is out. We're printing it. It's in print. It's going to print as we speak. And I just want to bless you all. Okay, it's my fifth book. It's called "What the Use of Fruct," and I'm just telling you about. I'm showing the whole process of how to 1099 the bank. I just wrote it all in the book, and I'm writing about the laws that they use that are evil, sinister laws, but they usufruct laws, and they allow people to be able to keep your stuff like it belongs to them. Well, I'm breaking it down. What the usufruct, I'm breaking it down. And if you want to pre-order the book, and we'll email you the written copy, not the physical book, but if you want us to email you, you want to read it and you want to be one of the first people to be able to read it, it's going to be out in about a week and a half, 2 weeks. You'll be able to read it. And if you want to pre-order it, you can just put 7 in the chat right now. And instead of paying me $57, you can just pay $7. All right. That's my blessing for you all today. I forgot all about it. So I just want to bless you. I blessed some people yesterday. So I just want to bless you. So if you're listening to this live right now, I'm going to give you a second to do that. I'm going to give you all about 60 seconds. You can just put the number 7 in the chat, or you can just put 7. All right. And and we'll send you the link. All right. And you can get the book. You say, Brother Ricky, how soon can I read it? You be one of the first people to get it. Okay. You definitely get it this month. Definitely. Absolutely positive. Get it this month. All right. So it's called What the Use of Fruit. It's my 5th book. And I just want to help you. All right. I don't sell no books on no seminar. I don't have none of that stuff. I don't have no free net books and none of that crap. All the stuff people be doing, I don't do none of that. All right. I don't even like dealing with cheap people. That's me personally. If you want something free, normally you just got to come on here and hear it. But in this case, you're about to get a book for $7. And it's my best book that I've written that just gets right to the point on 1099 A's, B's, and all that stuff. You know, the stuff you file and why they getting y'all the way they getting y'all and what you got to do. At least you can know, at least you can read it in the book so you can have something you can really study. People ask me, what, you got a guide for all the stuff you be talking about, Brother Ricky? I say, well, I just wrote a book. All right. It's the closest book I got to a guide on how to, on the 1099 processes and stuff. Okay. So put 7 in the chat if you're interested in that. And we'll send a link on over to you. And you'll be able to get my book. All right. You'll be able to read it. It's the pre-book. All right. So you'll get an email. You're going to automatically put and when y'all sign up for stuff with us, put your real number in there. Okay. Why? Because we got a whole team and we'll call you. We're not on WhatsApp and all that stuff. We talk to you on the phone with our personal cell phones. My team does. Okay. Not no fake people. Not nobody trying to get you and all of that. All right. So stop dealing with all these fakes and phonies and stuff. When you buy something from us, like this book, and you get to look the thing, put in your name and your address, put in your real phone number. Why? Because we'll call you. We'll just call you and ask you, are you enjoying the book? We not like most of this online stuff. Most of this online stuff, people don't care nothing about you. All right. They're not going to take the time with you and do all the stuff like that because they don't care. But we care. We care about your life and whether or not you're making some progress or not. Okay. You ain't always got to come and do the top stuff that we do. All right. It's just about if you're doing anything with us at all. If I don't care if it's a $7 book, we still concerned about your life. Excuse me. And we'll call you. I'm gonna have a panel on the book after y'all read it. I'm gonna pick some people from around the country, around the world. We're gonna go live on here and have a panel and we're gonna discuss it so that you can help people learn what you learned. Are you listening to me? Whenever y'all write books, get a panel, all right, and let people come into your studio online live and discuss what it is that y'all learn, all right, so that you can help other people remember stress reduction because you'll be teaching people what you learn and you'll be reducing other people's stress because as people learn things, stress goes down. Are you listening to me? The reason that some people are so stressed out is because they just don't know what's going on. And it's your job to help reduce another person's stress. Are you listening to me? So if you're interested in that, just put 7. Just put 7. God bless you, John. It's very kind of you. I appreciate you. All right. Just put the number 7 in the chat. And we'll just send a link to you. Okay. Just put the number 7 in the chat. If you're on TikTok, just DM me the word 7, the number 7. Just DM it to me. All right. If you're on TikTok, just DM me 7. Don't put it in here because it ain't gonna work. So my friend that just put 7 in, don't put it in here. Just DM me. And then my son Ricky, I just tell him to send you the link. All right. It's only $7 for pre-ordering my book. It's only going to be like that for 2 weeks. Once the book comes out, it's $57. All right. So I just want to bless you all. Okay. And we'll email you that copy of it. And you just read it right on your screen. Okay. And you can be reading the usufruct laws that allow people to take your identity and stuff and act like it's theirs and steal your stuff. That's what the word usufruct means. It means lawfully using somebody else's stuff like it's yours, which is what's happening to you right now in the money system. The bank act like they you, you know. The Federal Reserve got a lot of money with you. Got to use your Social Security number to track you around and all, and they get away with it. And so I'm breaking it down in the book, things that you hear me talking about, so you can just read it for yourself. All right. So I gave y'all a couple more seconds, okay, to put 7 in the chat if you're interested in doing that. All right. I'll give y'all one more story, then I gotta go about reducing people's stress, okay, and helping people. When you know, and I really want to help you to help somebody, okay? When you know what other people don't know, it is really your obligation to tell them because it doesn't make sense for somebody to be walking around. I mean, sometimes got health issues, all kind of stuff going on with folk, and you got the information that would actually help convert their life, and you just hold on to it. All right. So in the book of Acts, I think it's the 27th chapter. Paul is in this boat. Everybody's in the boat, and people in there are stressed out because it's a major storm. And these cats they got Paul as a prisoner, and they transport him to Rome, I believe. And you know, they only thing you're a prisoner about is just teaching the Bible. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine getting locked up for teaching the Bible? You know, you're in some wicked times. So you better be glad right now. You can teach that you're in America where you can teach the Bible. Can't nobody just come to your crib and lock you up, because the Bible is actually the law of the land here in America, even though y'all might not be aware of that. Okay, so and thank God for that. So Paul is in the boat and he's asleep. I mean, the boat is being tossed all over the place, and he's asleep, chilling. And these cats is like, what the hell, man? They say, somebody go wake that dude up. So they wake Paul up. They're like, hey, player, what's up? What's up? What's up? And, collaring Paul. Paul like, whoa, what's happening? They say, man, we about to die. He said, you better call on your God. And we all call on our God. Paul said, oh, no, don't worry about nothing. They said, what you mean don't worry about nothing? He said, angel already told me that we all okay. They're like, man, you better stop tripping, man. All right. Okay. We ain't okay. The boat is falling apart. He said, just stay in the boat. They like, stay in the boat. They say, ain't no way in the world we stay in this boat. He said, listen, if you get out the boat, you're gonna die. All right. They said, no, but the boat is tearing all up. It don't make no. He said, don't worry about that. God already told me everything's okay. Paul blood pressure is what? 118/77. So he's doing what? He helping reduce these people's stress. And every last one of those people, they just held on to parts of the boat. And the boat was tearing all up and stuff. He said, just hold on to any part of the boat you can get your hands on, just a little piece of wood or something, and God's going to spare your life. And sure enough, every last one of those members of that crew that stayed in that boat, even though the boat got tore up to pieces and stuff, none of them died. Why? Because Paul already knew what was going to happen before it happened. And for those of you all who have amazing news here, and you won't come online and share what it is that you know, and you would allow people to commit suicide, I say shame on you. I say that you should do what? That you should love people enough that you would share your ideas, and that you would be relentless about sharing your ideas, and that you would, and that you realize that somebody's going to die if you don't share your ideas. Somebody's going to suffer if you don't share your ideas. And the love of God should what? It should compel you to come share your ideas. Are you hearing me? So I just want to speak into your life an extra dose of the love of God to help compel you to come out here and share what it is that you know, so that I won't suffer, and that all of us around the world won't suffer from being held up by what you know. Be relentless about your ideas. All right. Don't just because nobody listened to you the first time, don't stop. Just because they didn't listen to you the second time, don't stop. Be relentless. Come online. Let everybody know who you are and what it is that you're teaching. Teach it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. Why? Because you've been what? You've been charged by God to teach. Whatever it is you're teaching, whatever it is you're good at. That's your gift. Okay. And God forbid that you go bury it. Okay. Be relentless and watch what happens to you. It's been a plum pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. I love y'all. Ain't nothing you can do about that. Have an outstanding day. And remember that stellar is as stellar does. Now go out here and get a raise, okay? God bless you. Have a great day. All right. Have an awesome day. Appreciate you. All right. Time for y'all to get paid. Let's go.